Let me start with the truism that the best games are the ones developed by a team that are trying to develop a game that they want to play. I think all of us who worked on Croc feel that Croc is our favorite game. So I'm a good subject for this. What do I feel when I see Croc up again? I feel joyous. I love that music. It's a brainworm. It's so much fun. I love it running through my head. And that fun gameplay with all those bright colors, it's both a reminder of a really happy time and challenging time in my life, but also it's visiting old friends and old places. A lot of it's quite funny. I mean, when you jump into the water, when you have those little footprints in the sand, in the snow, those big horizontal wheels. Every time I come back to them, it's kind of a joyous, happy place. Part of the magic of Croc was that non-game players could pick it up and succeed. Things weren't thrown at you too fast. You could plod your way around if you weren't very good at games, and get into games for the first time. But if you're a real gamer with tremendous skills, it was also challenging, and you could go whipping through that game at all sorts of speeds, still delighted by the surprises and the wit with which it was developed. I think people who come to Croc for the first time will fall into two categories. Those with huge expectations of what a game is supposed to be like, loud music, a lot of death. They might not take to it. But historically, even those hardcore gamers, along with the ones who approached it with no expectation, were pretty quickly charmed by the beauty, the wit, and the fun gameplay that they found. So I'm optimistic that it'll get a pretty wide audience, both from those used to much more hardcore games and for those that are maybe coming to gaming with less experience. So when I was developing Croc, I played it a lot. I mean, after a full day at the office, I would go test it at night. And I sometimes got home sort of late. I had a small daughter then. I think she was 5 or 6 years old. And I remember one weekend walking into the living room where Croc is on a track mode. And my little 5-year-old daughter is having an earnest conversation with Croc. She's saying, "Why do you keep my dad at the office so long? Why don't you let him come home?" And she would also dance around with him, doing that funny noise. Yeah, we had a lot of confidence in each other in the inner team, and we really tried to accommodate each other. Some people were incredibly resourceful. One incident I remember is near the end of the project, we were short an artist. We absolutely needed a new first-rate artist. And there weren't any in the company of that caliber, and there weren't any we could find by going through local headhunters. One day, one of our lead programmers didn't come to the office, which kind of surprised me. He never missed a day, Tony. The next day he was back, and there was an artist sitting there working. I was a little surprised because we have a whole hiring process and all. And I asked him, who are you? He says, "I'm Mick. I'm a friend of Tony's." And it turns out Tony had driven up to the north of England, picked up his old friend who was suddenly available, brought him down, put him to work, and he was part of the team. Now, given the level of trust between us, this went down real smooth. Although I did point out, you're not supposed to make a habit of this. He says, "No, it was very special." But these were the sort of things that made it all come together. That we didn't stand on ceremony. We did what we could to get it out. Oh, Croc was a huge moment for me. I think it was a huge moment for everyone in the team and the company. The history of Argonaut was it had some huge high points early on. Star Glider, Star Fox, just amazing stuff. And then they went through a less hot period where they'd grown a lot and they were trying to get through the growing pains. And Croc was the turning point for the company back on a big upswing. It's when we regained our mojo, we regained our reputation. It fixed a lot of our finances, made us a quite healthy financial company. It was a huge moment for all of us. Beyond that, it's one of the few times that a team actually worked. We had these incredibly talented programmers. Tony and Lloyd were the two leads. But they knew a lot about gameplay and art. And we let them speak up. We had a tremendous designer, Nick. He had a lot of feeling about how the game should be put together, including the art, and had a lot of input on the program. We had level designers, the way that everybody would not stay in their lane and they would interact with each other, and the team worked. That's what's so amazing. Usually when you give people free rein to comment and discuss, well, it ends up being a little chaotic and not necessarily collaborative. In this case, it was tense, it was hard. We were really working against schedule. There were a lot of opinions, but we ended up with a fantastic product.